feet. Bang!
What game is this? This is incredible.
Hook. Delightful. Wow.
Too strong. Now Melbourne goes, and Melbourne gets the bucket. Circus basketball to roof.
Cole! Yes!
Welcome everyone to the Bendat Basketball Arena here in Perth, where the excitement for the 24-25 Cygnett WNBL season is already at fever pitch. We've got an amazing matchup tonight as the Perth Lynx play host to the Southside Flyers. This opening round game is a high-stakes rematch of last season's grand final series. The Southside Flyers edged out the Lynx in dramatic fashion while claiming their 5th WNBL title. I'll be your host tonight, Todd Morris, and I'm joined by a great basketball mind who spent 12 years as an assistant at WNBL at NBL level. He's an undefeated national championship coach in 23 at NBL 1 level, and he's the newly appointed head coach at the Sandringham Sabres. Mark Alabakov, welcome.
Great to be here, mate. I mean, there's this saying, same but different. This game is going to be different but same. We've got the grand final rematch. Perth, they've reloaded with the addition of 2 Olympians. They'll be going for another championship push. And then you've got Southside under new head coach Christy Harrower, bringing a new style of play and a new journey for their basketball club.
Now, before we tuck into this one, there's so much to cover. Let's have a look at the round that was, the round 1 schedule. It was a fantastic start to this one as Townsville kicked it off. They were on fire against Geelong, winning 84-58. The Bendigo Spirit got up in a tight one over the Lightning, 84-70. And obviously, Mark, you're on this game on 9 Go tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Battle of the East, Flames and the Caps.
Yeah, and 2 completely different lineups again. So we've got a chance for both of them to stake their claim as being the beast of the East. You've got the Flames who are going to have to play a new identity, new style in the absence of Lauren Nicholson and Tess Madgen. And then the Caps have also reloaded with a whole lot more talent that is going to help them climb up the ladder.
Well, the last time we were here in this building, it was heartbreak for the Lynx faithful as the Flyers took game 2 in dramatic fashion. It was Mercedes Russell who delivered a stunning buzzer beater to seal the win, breaking the hearts of Perth fans and setting up the Flyers' path to their championship. You can really feel the energy in the building. It's about revenge tonight as the Perth Lynx start their season on home soil. It's no secret, this is all about redemption. Let's have a look at their list.
Well, with the Perth Lynx, you see one glaring name missing there. It's Amy Atwell, the bronze Olympian, out tonight with a knee injury. But, Annalee Maley is still there. She's a former MVP within the competition. She's just come back from the Paris Olympics. You've got the likes of the addition of Ali Wilson, who's going to be a real key to this Perth lineup with her purple patch scoring. But Maley in particular, part of that inaugural 3x3 Gangaroos team at the Paris Olympics. She's going to be, she was on that team with her new teammate Ali Wilson. She played for the Perth Redbacks in the NBL 1 West in the off-season, being second in scoring with 23 points, first in rebounds with 16.5, and second in assists. She's come off a stellar off-season, is primed for another great WNBL season to add to her stellar one and her career.
I can't wait to see her in full flight against Ami here. I think those two are going to make a dramatic, an unbelievable combo. Let's talk about the Southside Flyers. They're the defending champs. They've lost the key part, Lauren Jackson. Christy Harrower takes her home. They want to be defending their title, but they replace Lauren Jackson at the big spot. Who do they bring in?
They bring in Naz Hillman, who obviously follows over the new head coach, Christy Harrower, from the Melbourne Boomers in the previous season. Now, her addition to this lineup, 15 points, 9 rebounds. She won Player of the Week during the season with a 35-point output against the UC Caps. She gives them a post presence in transition. She seals really well, has exceptional footwork and hands, plays bigger than her size, and is going to help balance out the scoring for that Flyers lineup, giving them an interior presence.
Her WNBA numbers are starting to really trend up, getting more minutes, getting more points per game. I think she can really make a big impact here, and she'll be looking to build from this season into a WNBA season. I can't wait to see her this season at all. But let's have a look at the starting lineups of both teams as they're just about to take the floor. I think this is going to be an interesting one. Let's start off with that Perth starting lineup as we have a look at Mia Sowa, Ali Wilson, Chia Batoni, Ami here, and Maley. That's a very interesting lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, and it sticks to Perth style, right? It makes them dangerous, them wanting to play fast up and down the floor. They're athletic. They've got three-point shooting. They're going to score in bunches like they have in recent seasons under Ryan Petrick's tutelage.
Well, the stage is set, the scene is cast, the tip is underway. It's going to be the Flyers through Rochi get us underway to Cole. Now Rochi will go at the top, just like a chess master, looking at the chessboard, setting the scene here. Hillman to Cole, pass nearly picked off. They'll swing it around, they go low to Koenig, underneath the basket off the glass, a nice easy two.
And great to get Koenig involved early. I mean, she's an exceptional talent, playing inside and out. She can use her size advantage on guards in the post.
Chiabatoni to Maley. They'll look to swing. Sowa from distance, and it's good. A three to start the Lynx season.
Such a big part of their identity, isn't it? That three ball for the Perth Lynx.
Now the Flyers respond here. Hillman at the top, guarded by Ami here. Flick over the top to Koenig in the post again. And they'll finish with Vaughan underneath. Great offense.
Yeah, and ran essentially the exact same play as the first possession and got a different outcome.
Maley with a triple, back-to-back triples for the Lynx. They're not afraid to go from deep.
Right, and I mentioned same but different. We've had that on 2 back-to-back possessions for both of these teams.
Cole driving to the hoop, finding Hillman, who kicks out, and we get our first turnover of the game, and the Lynx will have the ball.
And everybody takes a collective big breath.
It was a jam-packed start to the game. We saw 100% shooting from both teams. Chiabatoni with the ball in hand. Maley at the top. Turns and goes, fires with a jumper. Rochi running the floor quickly, looking to attack the hoop. Misses that one. And it'll be Lynx ball.
Now, unlucky for the Flyers, and when you play against this Perth Lynx team, because of the speed they want to play with and the volume of threes, anything that misses gives you a chance with a long rebound to run it back the opposite direction.
Maley with the handoff to Sowa. Of course, former Goodchild, married in the off-season. Congratulations. That one picked this time. Rochi away in transition. Chiabatoni getting across and one. Rochi earns it the hard way and will go to the line with an extra.
That's just great defensive pressure by Rochi here. Getting a hand in on Sowa, as you mentioned, did a great job of getting her feet back in front of where Sowa was going. Comes up with the loose ball and then drives, wears the contact, doesn't let it deviate the way that she wanted to finish at the basket. Finishes strong and now gets a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play.
And Maddie Rochi nails that three-point play. Had a great season at NBL 1 level for the Keilor Thunder. We'll be looking to capitalise here in the WNBL. Wilson on the outside, went up with it. Cole, great defence. Commits the foul in the end.
A really good job of staying the scout by Beck Cole. So one thing that makes Ali Wilson really dangerous is she's an exceptional first step driver of the basketball, especially going to her left. If she can comfortably get back there, she can get by anybody within the WNBL. So being able to anticipate that, they get the stop.
Here on the elbow, hand off to Wilson. Corner, Sowa, doesn't quite drop. Here's Rochi at the top. Cole to Hillman, back to Rochi. Puts the ball to the floors. Kick out to Koenig, who nails the big triple. See how the Lynx respond here. Sowa from the outside, Maley looking to rebound. Hillman came across, made a good contest of it. Rochi again, Koenig in the block. Fouled, and will go to the line for a pair.
Now this looks like a directive from new head coach Chrissy Harrower to try and get Alice Koenig to go and post up the shorter Chiabatoni anytime she has that opportunity to. They've run 2 plays to start the game trying to get her post touches, and then you saw her just then come down the floor and then go and seal close to the basket.
We see Gorman checking in for the first time this evening as Koenig makes good on the first. Koenig coming across from Townsville to apply her craft here at the Flyers. Had a fantastic couple of seasons in Europe, really solidified herself in Europe. Was in the Opal squad as well. The Lynx look to move the ball quickly. Ami here. From distance, gets her first points in the WNBL. Welcome.
And they're going to test her ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter. Comes up trumps there, so she's got to have some respect from the defense when she gets that catch out there.
Cole underneath, ball parried away. It'll be a baseline ball here for the Flyers. Let's have a look at that one earlier as we see the first points from me here. Big two-pointer from the top of the keyway.
And you can tell, you can often watch by what the defense is doing when the ball gets caught. So Hillman, who was guarding her, took 2 steps off, challenged her to make that perimeter jump shot, knowing that she can be a threat closer to the basket. And now with me here hitting that, she'll probably find that Hillman will play her a lot tighter now.
Wilson with the triple. The Lynx have gone from beyond the arc, and they're happy to shoot, aren't they?
They are, and you know, look, they leverage it at the analytics of the game, right? So thinking that shooting 50% from the, oh, here we go.
That one's picked off. Wilson in transition. The easy lane.
So dangerous, and can be a purple patch player that can catch fire and score a bulk of baskets in a hurry.
Hillman looking for Koenig, who lost her footing, went down in the end. Let's have a look at this steal here from Wilson. Great anticipation. That was almost out of the Gungaroos playbook, I reckon. That 3-on-3, it's a different game, isn't it?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. It does condition you to react quickly. Like, your reaction time bandwidth shortens. You know, the anticipation goes right through the roof, so you're probably not far wrong.
Wilson at the top. Maley with the handoff. Sowa caught. But it would be a foul. It looks like they're going to be on Maddie Rocci.
So Mackenzie Clinch-Hoycard in the game had an exceptional season, a career high season last year with the Perth Lynx, and became a real vital cog to their offense. She came in and she was far more confident shooting her shot from the 3, being a pick and pop threat, but she did a tremendous job of defending taller players as well.
Ball on the inbound. Clinch-Hoycard getting her first shot off of the game. Wilson from the outside again. That one was nothing but fresh air. Ball out of court. He flies to inbound. Gorman playing all the way up on Rocci. Got it to Hillman in the top post. Carly Ernst on the floor now. So dangerous from the outside. We're going to see some of that straight off the bat, and there it is.
Case in point, has an opportunity now for a 4-point play. Carly has come off arguably her best NBL 1 season. Has been such a threat, both inside and out. But this looming threat of the 3-point shot out to car park-like distance, like, you've got to respect her. And then at her height and the release point that she gets the shot off, it's really hard for you to get a hand up there and try to disrupt it.
I reckon one of the most underrated bigs in the competition. And I can't wait to see what she can do this season as Wilson looking to take on Cole. Driving to the hoop, kick out, Gorman in the corner. Oh, and that's good. Another triple for the Lynx. They're getting hot from the outside.
They do a beautiful job in the half court of spreading the floor. They play a 5-out offense, so they keep all players on the perimeter for the most part. That opens up driving lanes, and then, you know, what that then does is force people to overhelp and gives you those kick-out 3-point looks.
4 from 7 from beyond the arc is Rocci driving now. Wilson in her face. That was great defense. Ernst battling away. Won the ball back for her team, then with the hook. And they're here with the rebound. Maley advances it down the floor quickly to Wilson, who went hard to the hoop and won. And Wilson's up and about. And a great start by Wilson early in this game. She now has 7.
Amazing, and being able to leverage contact, make that basket. I mean, it's akin to the one that we praised earlier from Maddie Rocci, for instance, down the other end. The value of being, you know, Allie Wilson and that first step quickness, the 3-point shooting, this style of basketball, this Perth Lynx style, I think it's a hand-in-glove fit for her.
3-point play is successful. That makes it number 8 for Wilson tonight. A great early start in her campaign in the WNBL season. Ernst pulls up with a baseline jumper. That was beautiful off the hands.
Yeah, she's such a soft touch shooter, and she can make them from the perimeter just about anywhere.
And me here to Wilson. Gorman looking to drive. And me here thought about it. Got it to Wilson, who has the hot hand. And it continues to be hot A big triple on the outside. Wilson is on fire. And of course, Chrissy Harrow's got to call a timeout.
You've got to stem the tide. I mean, whenever you're playing against the Perth Lynx, they score in bunches. You've got to weather storms. Sometimes you need to intervene and stop the game just like this. Rally your troops and get everything back on track.
Now make sure you stay powered with Cygnett, Australia's favourite power bank brand. Keep your devices charged and never miss a moment. Visit cygnett.com to find your perfect power bank. This is WNBL, it's powered by Cygnett. Make sure you're charging your devices with those. But now, talk to me, Mark. This is where you come to the floor. It's a timeout. What are you doing here if you're Chrissy Harrow?
Well, look, I think you need to talk about scout more than anything. So who are you guarding? If we talk, zoom in particular on that last possession, you had, I believe it was Alice Kunek, rush out on the three-point line at Amihia, who's not a real known three-point shooting threat. And then she made that extra pass to the wide open and on fire Ali Wilson. So knowing who you're guarding, do you sit a little further off the people who are lesser threats from the perimeter and try to challenge them to make baskets, and then play a little tighter to those that are on fire like Ali Wilson? You've always got to defend the people that have got the hot hand. And I mentioned right from the jump that Ali Wilson is a purple patch player. She's an athlete that can score in bunches. She can get you 14, 15 points in a quarter alone. I mean, she's up to 11 already, and just this style of the Perth Lynx, it lends itself to people who can catch fire from the three. They've got 8 out of their 13 shot attempts are from the three, 5 of them assisted.
And the Lynx come out of the timeout in a full court press. I like it, putting a lot of pressure on his Flyers unit. Ernst found Kunek underneath. And here tried to get it out of here, committed the foul in the end. Kunek will go to the line for 2. Let's just get back to Wilson. 11 points early as we look at this one in transition. There was a great pass there by Ernst to find Kunek underneath. And there was the foul. But let's talk about Wilson. 11 points, can go inside, outside. Who's your matchup? Who are you looking at from the Flyers to play on Wilson?
Well, I think the short answer is everybody, right? So it's everyone's responsibility to help. I think in terms of a matchup, you'd probably have someone like a Beck Cole, or you could even throw Maddie Rochi on her, knowing that Rochi's got that quickness and length at her disposal.
Down the floor, the Lynx really starting to take control of this game. Wilson move it around. Another one from the outside that wasn't online. Hillman a rebound, forced the pass there. Cole just lucky to keep it alive. The Flyers look like they're rushing at the moment on the offensive end. Hillman down low, great roll and finish with a little hook.
And beautiful footwork, right? She just has great body control. She traps the foot of the defender, pivots, keeps the ball protected, and is able to get her shot off against the taller player.
Here's Maley looking to penetrate and finish.
That's tough, being able to finish in a crowd of 3 sets of hands, but to find body control to go from fast to my one-step footwork into the floater, quality finish by a quality player.
Margin sits at 4, but the way that the Lynx have been scoring, feels like they're ahead on the momentum stakes as Kunek from the outside off the front iron. And the Lynx looking to push the ledger again quickly. Gorman down the floor. Take a moment to reset here. And me here in the keyway. Rochi snatched it away. Rochi to Cole. Unlike Beck Cole, that one. Beck Cole's a beast in transition normally.
She is, and unfortunately just slightly overthrown for her, but I think that's the right idea. If you're Christy Harrower, that's what you want to do. You've got to counter punch every time the Lynx take a 3 that's a long rebound or try to force the ball inside and shoot something that's highly contested. If you get fingertips to it, if you can knock it loose, you get a chance to get out and run.
Gibertoni with ball in hand. Wilson checked out of the game for the first time, a well-deserved break. Rochi looking to slow things down here. Nearly had the pocket picked. The Flyers will hold on to possession. It'll be a sideline out of bounds. Cole to Ernst. Now Kunek. Hillman from the outside, off the front iron. Ernst did really well to get it back. And then the triple just doesn't quite fall. Maley battling hard here. It'll be a jump ball. So back into the game. As Maley takes a break.
And Dallas Luffridge, it would appear, as well. Coming in will probably play some point guard minutes, I would assume, and then that would give the Flyers the opportunity to play Rochi at the 2 spot.
So looking to drive. Foul. And we'll go to the line for a pair.
The challenge that you have when you play against the Perth Lynx is so much of their focus is key or 3. Because they play that spread floor offense, that 5 out with multiple actions, they try to play quick in transition. It really puts a strain on both your communication and then where your help is going to come from.
So good on the first. And of course, many of you would know her as Mila Goodchild. So married in the off-season. I mentioned that earlier, making good on both of those. Ernst will kick it back off here for the Flyers. Luffridge and Rochi on the floor at the same time. And we have a foul. That will be against Sowar.
We've seen a defensive change-up by the Lynx after sets of free throws. There'll be some type of zone press deployed to try to slow the ball up, break the rhythm of the Flyers, and especially where a free throw gives an opportunity for a coach to make a play call. Whatever Coach Christy Harrower has designated for her team to do gets kind of blown up a little bit because you have to concentrate more on getting the ball over the halfway line versus pressure, and it eats into the shot clock as well.
So the Lynx in the penalty, Flyers in the bonus as Luffridge is at the line. Good on the first. Second one just doesn't quite fall. Clinch Hoycard advances the ball down the floor quickly. Wilson back on the floor. Didn't spend a lot of time getting a rest. Great drive and good finish off the window by Chia Batoni.
She's one of the few players that does a really good job of that. Tends to go off the backboard for a lot of her finishes.
Rochi looking to drive. Was met by some tough defense. Hillman went to go up with it. Lynx on a run now. Great pass down low. Clinch Hoycart, kick out. Now into the corner. Wilson! But it'll be waved away. That could have been a real game breaker, that one early.
Absolutely. That would have put her at 14 points. As we look at this play here, that drive to the basket, wearing the contact by Rochi, and then the rebounding contest. Extra pass here, kick out 3-point shot. And that's how the Lynx like to play. They try to create that first advantage or create miscommunications. You end up with 2 or 3 people on the ball, and then they pick you apart with extra passes.
Koenig using the body really well. A great feed from Ernst to find Koenig underneath the hoop.
I really like this from Christy Harrower, trying to get Koenig the ball inside. I think it's part of her game that's been untapped. I'm not sure whether it was used a whole lot when she was in Europe, but the size advantage and the comfort that she has playing down there, she can cause headaches for smaller opponents.
That is a sharp and one. A great finish by Morale underneath the hoop, and now we'll get an opportunity at the extra. So the Lynx lead by 7. Morale at the line for the extra. 3-point play complete. Late stages of the first term. Ernst with a long pass. Koenig in the corner. And it's good, but it'll be a 2. Morale at the top. Handoff. Chia Batoni thought about it, then drove. Corner look here. No good. 5 seconds left. The Flyers will look to get something late. Ernst from half court. And no good. Well, what a first quarter that was. The Lynx 31, the Southside Flyers 25. Interesting stuff, mate.
It really is. Both of these teams have been able to deploy different styles of basketball and then have success with it. So you've got the Lynx who clearly want to play fast in transition. They do a great job with the 3-point shot. They've hit 5 of them already for the first quarter alone. and it spreads the floor, makes them really tough to deal with.
This is set to be a great one. Make sure you're joining us here for the rest of the action in the second quarter.
Who wants to see Aston dunk? Kicks it out. All right, last shot, boys. There we go. Give them a round of applause. Well done. You're both winners. Kate, say something nice about your brother, please. He's a good brother. Yes, he's a great brother. Give him a round of applause. All thanks to Ford Dealers. Started by joining the Ford Aussie who's program near you.
Well, welcome back to the Cygnett WNBL, the opening round clash between the Lynx and the Flyers. It's the Lynx 31, the Flyers 25. It was the Ali Wilson show early with 11, but Koenig also chipped in with 13. Great by those two.
Absolutely, and you know, like I mentioned right before the break, you've got two teams playing two different styles and having some success with it. Koenig with the 13 points being played as an interior presence and then stepped out and hit that shot from the perimeter late in the quarter. They've got 10 points in the paint, which is huge, and the 3 offensive rebounds. That helps slow the break and the ability for the Perth Lynx to get down the floor in transition. For Perth, Wilson, you mentioned 11 points, 4 assists. They've got 5 out of 10 threes, so shooting at 50%, but they're 4 individual three-point shooters. There's so many threats on this Lynx team.
Luffridge now to Koenig, pulling up, no good. Lynx quick to move the ball down the floor. Giabatoni on the outside, another triple for the Lynx.
My goodness, and this is what makes them really tough to defend. They spread you out with the three-point shooting, and you've got to try to defend the three-point line, but then have a readiness to defend dribble penetration as well.
Cole guarded by Wilson, finding Ernst, turning and firing, and there's the foul. And me here committing that one. Ernst will go to the line for a couple.
I really like this from Carly Ernst. This past 12 months, she's shown more of a proficiency at playing close to the basket. We all know that she's got that three-point shooting threat, but you know, whenever teams guard her with a smaller opponent, or even just by design, she does have comfort playing back to basket. She's got a great fadeaway jump shot that she can make even through some contact on her arm.
And of course, two-time WNBL champion, Maley back onto the floor.
The one thing that Coach Ryan Petrick does a really good job of in the WNBL is managing load of his players. So you would have noticed that Maley was off the floor for a period of time. He's going to keep her loaded up and fully recharged with energy for a big push in the second half.
Wilson forced to shoot, and that foul, not the greatest choice of shot, but it went home.
Well, she's going to need to get them a whole lot of baskets. Essentially, she becomes the replacement, a different replacement for Aerie McDonald, but she offers a different skill set. She's a great driver as well, offers three-point shooting, and is just such a live wire. You know, I mentioned the phrase scoring in bunches. The Perth Lynx do, but so does Ali Wilson, and that's why they're such a great marriage together.
Maley happy to push the floor. That one counts, and it's another and one. Maley goes to the line for an extra.
A really distinct improvement, especially early in this game, is the Perth Lynx ability to finish through contact, through multiple players. You know, at times in previous seasons, if it wasn't all the way to the rim with pace, you know, the way that you were able to defend them was keep a little bit of a gap and try to have them shoot over the top of you or apply a bit of physicality, and they would deviate off a straight line to the basket. Not so much here in the early stages, so this could be a big curve of improvement for the Perth Lynx lineup.
And Maley converts on the three-point play. The Lynx look to extend their lead. Koenig to Cole. Into the corner. Luffridge looking to drive. Hillman. Flyers happy to get the ball through many hands. A great finish in the end by Luffridge. A good pass, great cut.
Absolutely, and that gets Beck Cole on the board. She was scoreless and statless for that whole first quarter, which is very unlike her. She'll get her confidence going after that assist.
Have a foul. Morale. Let's have a look at this here on the replay. Just bursting through. Just great attack on the ball. But unfortunately, collecting a little too much of Maddie Rocci. Koenig to Rocci. Cole firing. No one's off the back iron. Great pass, Rocci low to Hillman. Great use of the footwork. And one. Offensive rebound. And now an opportunity to go to the line for an extra.
It's what makes her so valuable. I mean, you mentioned the footwork, right? So she pivots, finds a little bit of air, has a little step through back towards her right hand, but then stays in the contest, grounds her feet, and then tries to make her body long on that next finish where she's able to play through some hands in the road and some contact.
We're missing that one. Margin stays at 10. Koenig with the offensive glass. Cole just missing that one. Maley looking to push the ledger quickly. Happy to drive. And it's good off the glass. That was a lovely finish.
It was, and another contested finish. It's clear that they've put in some work in this area of the game and it's paying dividends early.
Cole into Koenig in that post. Plenty of work there today. Koenig with the fadeaway, just missing. Chiabatoni pushing the floor here. The pass was wayward, a rare turnover from this Lynx lineup. An interesting one there. We saw Maley let it go, and now it becomes a baseline ball. Would you rather her touch it and bring it up to half court for their over and back court?
Potentially. I mean, it keeps the ball further away from the basket, but in any endeavour, you know, with the ball being passed in, your defence can be back and set.
Rocci. Nice look there by Rocci. Baseline jumper falls.
Flyers just hanging in there. I mean, the Lynx are hot shooting right now. The challenge is going to be how long can they sustain that? And I was about to say, are these long rebounds a chance to run? But you can't let Annalie Maley, who's such a great offensive rebounder, get a runway like that to go and get the ball.
Absolute rebound machine and finishing off the offensive glass. Luffridge at the top. Down low to Hillman. Bullet a gate at the basket. That one falls, and another and one here for Hillman.
Huge play by Hillman, and I like this change in tact, you know, by the Flyers to keep pumping the basketball inside. You had some of those touches in the first quarter from Alice Koenig, but by playing close to basket, you stay in rebounding contests longer. You've got to try to either will the ball into the hoop, get on the free throw line, or keep it alive with extra possessions, because it slows the tempo of this Perth Lynx team being able to get down the floor.
Naz Hillman last season, All-NBL second team. She'll be looking to make her way into the WNBL first team this year and obviously put together a good season to set up her WNBA campaign as that one finishes off the low block. A great finish by Clint Choika. Luffridge, Rocci. Great movement by the Flyers. Rocci from deep, missing that one. Maley with another rebound. Finds Wilson in transition. Great drop-off pass. And the
Highlight reel stuff. Game one of the season, Ali Wilson has already got a play that we could call a potential top 10 play of the competition for the season.
When that started from Maley's rebound, quickly getting it to Wilson, and Wilson just having the the quick one to get it there. Now, let's have a look. CTM Sports, calling all sports teams, say goodbye to travel headaches and hello to CTM Sport. CTM are 100% committed to delivering excellence in our field. Leave the logistics to the travel experts, so your athletes can focus on what they do best. Learn more at ctmsport.com.au. If you're travelling anywhere, get on CTM Sports. You're going to have to use them this season with the Sabres, Mark, I think. Well, let's talk about this game. This one's an unbelievable one from the Lynx. They're just running away with it at the moment.
Yeah, and playing some exceptional offensive basketball. So they've got the 8 fast break points. Being able to play in transition at speed is exhausting to have to try to defend, and then it saps your energy at the other side of the floor. You know, the margin is 14 points. 8 of them have come on those breaks, but it gives you clean looks as well. It allows you to get on the free throw line at times, but I mean, this hot shooting from the Perth Lynx, absolutely insane. 53% from the 3-point line right now. There'll be a challenge to try and keep that sustained for the entirety of the 4 quarters, but I mean, when you have a lineup with so many weapons that can hit, you know, anybody can get off and find a hot streak, you know, and be able to carry that for multiple possessions or a whole quarter, and then it can be handballed to somebody else.
How do you coach against this Perth Lynx team? Their ability to move the ball and move the ball quickly is a tough one. If you're Chrissy Harrow at the moment, what are you saying to your team?
Well, I think it begins, I mean, look, there's 2 lines of thought, right? It begins and ends with your shot selection. Are you shooting shots that you're capable of rebounding and expecting so that you can go and create a contest? Or at some juncture, you know, if they're killing you in transition, you need to decide, is there profit in pursuing it, or do you just get numbers back?
Luffridge in the keyway this time, finishing with a lovely 2.
But where you can, you know, knowing that they play this free-flowing style, give them some different looks defensively. You know, maybe mix in some zone. Now, I know that, you know, that opens up shots on the 3-point line, but it breaks the rhythm of how they create those.
Rochi to Hillman. Tough rebound contest. Lynx win out in the end. Maley with ball in hand. Chiabatoni in the keyway was bereft of options. Maley from the outside, and it falls. Rochi in the face as well.
I mean, there's not much more that Rochi could have done to challenge that shot. Hot shooting by this Perth Lynx team. And they're in a 2-3 zone of their own.
Margin now out to 11. It's still manageable, but it's becoming tougher and tougher, especially with the home crowd momentum. Here's Gorman. Clinch Hoykart. Koenig got across, played some good D.
Now, looking at this, well, we'll miss it on this this particular replay. This is the Maley 3, which was highly contested, but makes the shot. I mean, such is the quality of the athlete. But have a look, when the ball changes possession and comes into a red jersey's hands in transition, how tough it is and how exhausting it is for the Flyers to get down the floor and try to have 5 white singlets ahead of them. In that last possession, there was 3 people behind the ball who were essentially jogging. I mean, it's tough. This Lynx lineup, they keep everybody rested, they play fast, they rest you, they get you back in where you can go 100% again.
Burrows on for the first time tonight. As Christy Harrow looks to go to a bench to start quelling this lead. Cole, Koenig, outside, doesn't get the friendly roll. Maley with another rebound. Advances it quickly. Real signature of the Lynx game tonight. And Hillman playing right up on Maley, giving her no room at all, committing the foul. Let's have a look at that rebound here. And the way that they advance the ball so quickly.
And you know, they do it both ways. You can advance obviously via the dribble or via the pass. If there's no one guarding the ball, that person just turns on the afterburners and takes ground. But if there's an opportunity to throw it ahead, they do that. I mean, nothing moves faster down the floor than the basketball.
A great backdoor pass to Wilson, who nearly gets the and one, but go to the line for 2. Wilson continues to be a headache. Great movement to get down low.
Yeah, and a fantastic cut. She does a really good job of getting catches and then taking that bounce and creating an angle for herself to try and go off the backboard.
So Wilson to the line, of course, was a part of that Olympics campaign by the Kangaroos in Paris. Moving across to the Perth Lynx has been wonderful for her game early in this season already. But it looks like she's been given a license, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think an athlete like that, you have to give them some freedom to be able to be who they are within the constraints of the team.
Cole. And it's good. A great triple. Nothing but nylon from the outside. A great pass by Maddie Rocci, but the Lynx look at the counter-attack straight away. Have the ball down the floor in a flash. Sowa from the outside. Just misses that one. Great boxing out by Cole on the rebound. Rocci looking to move quickly. Koenig pulling up. Misses that one. Good rebound by Cole. Gives the Flyers another opportunity. Rocci getting to the keyway. Morale swatting that away.
But I like the pursuit of the basketball on the offensive glass from the Flyers. I mean, this is not a Lynx team that you can beat in a sprint. I mean, that's how they're designed to play. You've got to be prepared to win the game slowly over 4 quarters and just do percentage things and find ways to slow them down and make them play in the half court.
Rocci unfortunate on the outside on that one. Maley forcing the ledger quickly. Pickpocket there by Rocci. Down low, Vaughan with her first points in the WNBL.
A beautiful seal, created a target, held the defender in front of her, and a fantastic pass by Rocci just to clear the hands of that defender so the ball fell in Vaughan's lap.
Here's Sowa. Good footwork by Rocci. Wilson, step back, and it's home, but it's a 2.
Cold-blooded, took that step back, pulled the trigger, knocked herself down another 2 points.
Here's Burrows. Pass to Cole on the baseline. Looking to change the angle. Koenig at the top. Back to Cole. Now looking to drive. Drop off to Vaughan. Just missing off the window.
It appeared to go off 1 foot there. I'd love to see her turn and ground both feet, get her balance, and then be able to put that 2 away.
Maley at the hoop. No go on that one.
Here's a chance to run.
Koenig pulls up. A deep 2 if it fell. Wilson with the rebound. Quinn Choikart. Sowa from the outside, and it's all net.
That was from a metre behind the 3-point line, no less.
Here's Burrows. Rocci. Vaughan doing great underneath. Didn't quite finish. Again, the Lynx push it down the floor, but that pass was a little wayward, and it's off hands. It'll be Southside ball.
Flyers probably got out of jail on that last possession because it was coming at a rate of knots down the floor. There's some tired bodies for this Flyers lineup. They've got to find a way to stem the tide of this scoring and slow the Lynx down, force the tempo of the game to be half court versus half court, where the Flyers clearly have a whole lot of weapons. I mean, to put 45 points on the board so far, you know, that's a winnable scoreline. You've just got to keep the Lynx to well below 55.
Burrows to bring it down the floor. Koenig, Cole. Pass to find Burrows. Tried to go the extra, but couldn't. Now the Lynx again pressing. Giabatoni, baseline. No go. Koenig crashed the glass well. 30 seconds left of the term.
Taya Burrows will know this court well as a former Perth Lynx player.
6-second differential between game and shot clock. The Flyers will look to eat up as much of this clock as possible. Koenig, drop that pass, turnover. Leaves 10 seconds left here for the Lynx. We're going to time out. They'll look to draw something up here.
Welcome back, California Performers.
But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you head to Ford dealers. They love to see their WNBL sporting heroes and Aussie families conquering their goals. And it's easy to conquer the everyday in the 7-seat Ford Everest Sport SUV. Find the Everest that's right for you at your local Ford dealer. Now, talking about things that are finding that's right for you. What are the Lynx going to do here? They've got 10 seconds to draw something up.
They do, and I love that Coach Ryan Petrick, doesn't allow this timeout to just go through to the keeper. It's a chance for you to really stamp your authority on this ball game and get one last possession. I think what we'll find out here, there'll probably be some type of pick and roll action on the ball, which will then lead somebody into dribble penetration, but they'll space away, and then that screener will go and screen for somebody else. There'll be some type of misdirection. He's a fantastic after timeout play coach. There'll be some type of misdirection that forces the Flyers to be highly alert to one thing, i.e. the person with the basketball, while something else happens away from it that gets a shooter open. I think you have a real opportunity to have a free swing at another dagger three-point shot.
The margin of 10 at the moment. It's been the biggest lead of the game for the Lynx. They've got an opportunity to advance that and really have the momentum going into the halftime break. Ball in the hands of Wilson. Clock ticking down. Wilson straight to the hoop, finishes. Makes it a 12-point ball game.
What am I thinking, overcomplicating it? Just give it to Ali Wilson and get out of the way.
And that's exactly what happened. It was a great first half. The Lynx 57, the Flyers 45.
I shoot like a girl.
Jane Hamilton. Late shot on the buzzer is gone. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top with a denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Hillman again on the O glass.
Rattles out.
There's Maley, the two. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Kayla George fires back.
And that's what makes us great. Sit down.
Yeah. Celebrating 50 years of sneakers?
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
I shoot like a girl.
Jane Hamilton. Late shot on the buzzer is gone. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top with a denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Hillman again on the O glass.
Rattles out.
There's Maley, the two. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Kayla George fires back.
And that's what makes us great.
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
Sit down.
Welcome back to the Bendat Basketball Arena, where it's been a highlight riddle the first half of the basketball. It is the Perth Lynx who have been dominant, and of course they've been doing it from the outside, Mark.
They've been phenomenal. They've hit 8 3-point shots. They're shooting over 50% from the 3-point line. But the thing that's most exciting if you're a Perth Lynx fan is they've got 6 individual 3-point scorers, right? So the threat comes from multiple places. 11 assists as a team. So they're all prepared to make that extra shot, extra pass rather, to get themselves a clean open shot at the basket.
Let's take a look at some of the key numbers here because it's been a game of numbers. It's been a game of runs. Let's have a look. Ali Wilson leading the scorers with 17. Obviously, Koenig for the Southside Flyers on 13. But it's been a bit of a mix in the rebounding. Clinch Hoykart chipping in. Maley as well with the 5. And, of course, Morel had that big block early in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we go back to the scorers, so Wilson's had her purple patch really early. Maley got hot in that second quarter. But if you're looking at the Flyers, Koenig is the only player that hasn't come off the floor. She played all 20 first half minutes. She's got the 13 points, as you mentioned, but that was 11 in the first quarter and only 2 in the second quarter. So the challenge when you play against the Lynx, I've alluded to it throughout the first half, it's a war of attrition. And if you play their style, they're fitter, they're faster, and they make you work for everything and wear you down over 4 quarters. For the Flyers, I mean, you've got to find a way tactically, to begin from your shot selection to try to slow this Perth Lynx lineup down and make a decision on, do you have profit to keep the ball alive on the offensive glass? You've got Hillman with the 4 rebounds, 2 of those have been offensive. Koenig with the 5, 2 of hers have been offensive. And does that stem the tide enough for you to get numbers behind the ball? Or do you do away with it altogether and just get 5 below the ball so that you've always got people in place, try to make life hard and stem the scoring tide from the Lynx?
Make sure you're joining us for the second half. This is set to be a close one. Can the Flyers peg back this margin, or will the Lynx get their revenge from the grand final?
Give another round of applause. Bendat and Sons. Great to have you. Shout out to the parents as well. All right, who wants some free stuff? I'm on the Southside, we got Paul over there. It's real simple. It's an in your seat dance off. DJ Larson, hit us.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What do you got? I got something inside, Paul's over there, the big dance from inside. Here we go. Well done, a couple of them there. That is not the word. Oh, we got a worm over here. That's pretty good. People coming through. Keep it going, that was good. So far, Wormboy's winning. 29, you're 50% over here, aren't you? Was it his mum and daughter, or is that your older sister? Keep it going. Look, oh, Wormboy, which Wormboy? You do it again, you're gonna win. Down here, Wormboy. And you think you shit. Get up and roll out dancers. Hey, we'll get you the next time. score without our sponsors, Big Bag of the Deep, sprint one, Olympic in the out. So he's got half a hand little run.
Well, we're back here at Bendat Basketball Arena, and it was a great first half by Ali Wilson. Just set the world alight, Mark.
She did. She had the 17 points, but the 17 points come off defense, as you can see here on screen. But the gravity that she has as a scoring threat, she's willing to get other people involved. You often see her go to the dribble, and there's 2 and sometimes 3 Flyers defenders that all commit to what she's doing next. She's got the 6 assists as well, getting everybody involved.
5 from 5 from the inside, which has been super impressive. But it's also been her Gungaroos teammate in Annalie Maley, who's absolutely been amazing as well.
Well, she had a really big second quarter. She's got the 14 points, and while she doesn't give you the same assists as we see on screen here from Ali Wilson, the 6 assists is huge. Being able to get other people involved in the game. Maley gives you rebounds, right? And it's a contested finishes that she's been able to bring to this team. Now, the play of both Wilson and Maley is so important in the absence of Amy Atwell. We know what a world-class scorer she can be and three-point shooter. So for them to be in the teens and Wilson in the high teens, it's really important for them to put up a scoreline that's going to be hard for the Flyers to chase down.
And we're seeing here Annalie Maley doing her finest work. I just love her aggression and attack to the basket.
Yeah, and you alluded to her being teammates with Ali Wilson. The way that both of them play is that fast reaction style, and they're absolutely relentless. They've got boundless energy. I've had the privilege of working with both of them in WNBL teams and NBL 1 teams. They literally have a gas tank that can go all day. So what you're seeing, the relentlessness for possession here by Maley, the first step quickness and change of pace on dribble penetration from Ali Wilson, they can do that for another half and continue to keep this scoreboard ticking over for the Lynx.
Well, the 5 rebounds for Annalie Maley, that's very in her DNA. That's Annalie Maley. Like 6 from 8 from the field has been impressive. And of course, that big outside look to make up the 14 points. Southside Flyers have got a problem on their hands. What are they going to do here, Mark?
Well, it really is a problem, and it's going to be a challenge for Coach Christy Harrower, her assistant Joe Wood, both of them teammates actually in 1997 with the Melbourne Tigers WNBL team, who actually they were teammates with previous coach Cheryl Chambers. But back to your point, how do they get this game back on their terms and their rhythm? One of the things that's glaring when you look at the stat sheet is Beck Cole's only had the 3 shot attempts. She's only got the 3 points on the board so far, 2 rebounds and 1 assist. So this is a very un-Beck Cole-like game, but she hasn't been involved in a whole lot of action, and I think the Southside Flyers need her to, so that you've got that extra scorer and that extra scoring threat with gravity of her own to get other people involved. We saw a beautiful pass from her to Luffridge, but back on the pace of play, they've got to find a way to do something different. Do they come out and throw some zone out? Do they soften up the area that their defenders go and confront the basketball? I mentioned earlier, do they just get 5 people back in and around the 3-point line, soften up their ball pressure at the expense of trying to be disruptive, but then at least they've got numbers not only in front of the basketball but in help positions so that you can hedge and then be able to get back to the next player and then force the Lynx to have to score over you as fatigue hopefully starts to set in if you're a Flyers fan.
Not only did they get the last basket, but they also get possession to kick off the half, which can make all the difference here. Gia Bertoni to kick us off. Wilson now with it. Cole up on Wilson. A look to move it around. Maley from the outside. 2 from 2 now.
That's a huge start from Maley, and if you're the Flyers, you've got your head in your hands already, but you've got to find a coverage within you to just stay the course. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. It's a 15-point margin, but you do know that the Lynx are shooting at a clip that is going to come back down to earth somewhat in this second half.
Down low to Hillman. Battling away. Great use of the foot, but just couldn't finish.
Yeah, and I like the idea of going to her. She's a big target. But I mentioned in the first half, as Maley sticks yet another 3-point shot, it's so important to ground that second foot to be able to play on balance and make some of those great catches close to the basket count on the scoreboard.
This is really starting to move quickly here for the Lynx as they were successful again. Cole driving, unsuccessful on that attempt. Hillman snatching the ball away. Just showing a little bit of grit. That's what they've got to do, don't they, Mark?
They do, and she's an offensive rebounder, but I mean, there's a 2-foot finish from her, so she's able to regain her balance and then within her cylinder, power up strong through any contact and be able to make the play.
Let's have a look at that big 3-bomb from Maley. Just so fluent out the hands.
And it is, that's a great word, fluent. And where does that come from, right? And I think it stems wholly from the style of play and the culture that you have around your program. You know, this Perth Lynx team have no conscience. And I mean that in a really good sense, in that they can play freely and without fear of repercussion. They know who what their identity is, who they are within it. You know, and everybody backs themselves to make a play. You get Mila Sowar now, looking to shoot that 3-point shot. Defender rushes out at her with urgency and they foul her. Now she gets on the free throw line for 3 shot attempts. And the frustration must be tough for Christy Harrow as well. Not only are they backs against the wall at the moment, fouling on a 3-point attempt. Yeah, and again, it's the Perth Lynx style that forces you to play this way, and it wears you down. In the second half, you start to get these wild rush out at 3-point shot closeouts because the clip that they're shooting at, they've hit 10 of them, so 30 points of their score have come from downtown. And that ends up in either positions where you may foul, or it's long closeouts that then invite the Perth Lynx players to go to dribble penetration, which is also another chance to foul. Flyers here looking to respond. They've got a little bit of space here. Ernst to Rochi. Now to Cole. Into Ernst. Cross-court pass was wayward, but tipped away. But good idea. She could see the defender on the weak side start to come across to help in the middle of the keyway, caught the ball with one hand and then tried to scoop it over the top to the open shooter on the weak side of the floor. Stack formation by the Flyers. They find Ernst off the window. A nice one off the glass. And that's an old school line play. You'd see that in most rep clubs throughout the country, when a team plays in any sort of defense from a baseline. Old tried and true. Koenig, Rochi. Hillman to Cole. Sides the drive. Was blocked. Now they go in transition. Sowar stepping around Rochi and finishing. Tremendous job by the Lynx and Sowar in that instance. So we talked about their being able to play through contact, but contested finishes, sometimes that's avoiding, and going to that Euro step, she's able to find herself some airspace to be able to go up uncontested. Rochi, now Hillman. Cole, and again the Flyers have been getting the ball through many hands. Ernst threw that one up. And the Lynx running the floor again. Lynch Hoycart. Wilson with a bit of space. Great pass to find Maley. Beautiful ball movement by the Lynx, keeping the basketball flowing and forcing the Flyers players to have to close out on the ball repeatedly. Eventually the defense breaks down, they get a pass and a layup. Game high 20-point lead here to the Lynx as Ernst starts to get to work from the outside. Doesn't quite fall. Sowar pushing the ledger, taking on Cole one-on-one. Fouled. Sowar to the line. Might be time for a timeout for Coach Christy Harroway. I wouldn't be surprised to see her call one here. So the past 2 possessions for the Flyers have been not really the flowing offense that I'm sure she's looking for out of her lineup. It's become broken plays that have been turned into highly contested shots, which then, when the shots are unpredictable, they're harder to then go and rebound. And then if you don't get a chance to go and pursue it, it's hard to then formulate your defensive transition to try to stop this rampaging Lynx team coming down the floor. Because the first one is good. And then the result of that, the play prior to this one, we had 3 defenders rush out at Ellie Wilson because of her dangerousness offensively. And you had the ball reversal go to an open shooter. Sowar now with 14 for the game, average of 10 last season. Having a great opening campaign. Ernst, Hillman, Rochi. From the elbow is good. That's way better offense. The ball moved through sets of hands. It went side to side, but then you're looking to attack off the pick and roll. You try to score because the play's for you. And then if there's a defender in front of you, you can look down at where your roller is going to as your next sort of order of thinking. A rare turnover here for the Lynx. Southside definitely need a basket here. Margin still sitting at 20. What you don't want to do is force any of the action or start to question yourself and play hesitant.
Here's Hillman. Koenig receiving. Ernst moved it quickly. Great pass to find Cole, who was open. Doesn't quite fall. Koenig with the three. No good. Me here. In the key way. Fading away.
That's a huge basket by her. If she can be a presence in transition, sealing, and then with her length, going to that Dirk Nowitzki, if anyone knows that NBA reference, esque fadeaway with the raised leg. She can create space with that raised knee and fade backwards, get the shot over any size defender.
This season, the WNBL is taking a stance against domestic violence. Putting a stop to this is everyone's business. Make an effort to recognise warning signs, listen to survivors, and speak up. For more info, head to Full Stop Australia. That's an important one. Break the silence and stop the violence. It's a super important message, and it's great to see the WNBL getting behind that one. But the Lynx are just causing a lot of trouble for the Flyers at the moment. They continue to press here, Mark. We have a look at the replay. That fadeaway you talked about, that Dirk Nowitzki-esque. I just think Amy is going to take a little while to get into this competition, but she's going to be one to watch. Her athleticism is amazing.
Yeah, and often it does. You know, it takes a few games to stylistically get used to maybe the type of actions that you play out of in the Australian system, but certainly the physicality that we have here in our National League. I mean, it's why it's so highly regarded. We're skilled, we're physical. I mean, we play a brand of basketball that is really the Aussie battle away. You know, we try to do a smart job with our execution, but then we can win a little bit of a wrestling match as well. So great for her to get involved. You know, one of the things that Amihia does well and has done traditionally well everywhere that she's been is blocking shots and running the floor. And both of those are really effort-based metrics that I think they're transferable anywhere that you play in the world at any level.
Certainly. Here's Rochi up the floor. Almost hesitated. It was a tough pass to Hillman, who had to work hard for it. Cole trying to get off that screen. Ernst receiving. Hand off to Koenig. Almost lost it. Flyers looking shaky on this offensive set. 3 on the shot clock. Ernst had to fire. Did and missed a lot. Maley looking to drive. Kick out. Sowa. Maley, offensive glass. Then drew the foul.
She's a multiple effort rebounder. One thing that you see with her feet land, as you see here, and then she gets back into the contest and goes again. So, you know, when we talk about this Perth Lynx style as being exhausting to play against, being in rebounding contests or trying to keep Annalie Maley out of them is an exhausting task in any event for any athlete, let alone when you attach it to the rest of this Perth Lynx lineup.
So sideline opportunity here for the Lynx. So are receiving. Rochi playing right up on her. Maley from another postcode misses the lot.
I think we call that a heat check. When you're on fire, like, can I hit this one?
Yeah, we just saw there briefly. Even she goes, geez. That's a steal. And an easy basket in transition by Gorman. Great defense turned into good offense. This is starting to look out of hand for the Flyers at the moment, Mark.
It is, and they're logging a lot of minutes into this core group. And the challenge that they have is, can they turn the tide with them as energy stores start to go? Or at what point does Coach Christy Harrower start to roll the dice with some of those bench players and see if she can get an energy spark? It doesn't have to be all of them at once, but you can start to cycle them through and see if anyone can give you a burst of energy that might lead to a little storm of your own and get you back within single digits in this one.
You just see that finish there by Gorman. Sowa in the corner. Great use of the foot. Gee, but Tony crashing the glass and another 2. It's just the fundamentals at the moment for the Southside letting them down.
It is, and this is what the psychological pressure of playing against a team that scores in bunches can do to you. It looks to me like, this is the same core essentially in a lot of ways, less the head coach and a couple of key talents in your Lauren Jackson and your Mercedes Russell, but it's a team that won the championship and you've got some really good pieces in it. But they're starting to second guess. There's a hesitation, when they're the last link in the chain, and you would often see them confidently make the next play. When you couple fatigue with scoreboard pressure, it can be a psychological battle just as much as it is physical or tactical.
Koenig in the corner, got it to Ernst. Luffridge, too long. Shot clock violation.
Case in point, being shot clock aware, it's a tough position to be in, but you've got to try to now worry less about eating into the margin and more about the standards and quality of how you want to play your basketball game.
So driving, was fouled and collected, and will go to the line for a couple.
But that's another example. So, we watch the looming threat. Watch how many Flyers players come to respond to this fire in the house, essentially. There's all three of them. Now, they foul Soa on that play in particular, but what that does is it leaves at least two other offensive players for the Lynx out on the perimeter, and where they're shooting the three-point shot and having a willingness to make the extra pass to go from good to great, this is how they want to play.
And both of those drop. Soa now brings up her tally to 16.
She's a wonderful scorer of the basketball too. She's a combo guard that sometimes has to pinch hit in the point guard position for the Lynx, but generally looks like she's more comfortable when she's scoring as her primary thing as a shooting guard.
Ernst with a great find to Hillman, who scores in the keyway. Mitch Hoykart just flicked that pass long, looking for Chia Batoni, but it will find its way out of court.
Chance for the Flyers to try to string together a couple of possessions now to get the game back on their terms. So that last possession, executed their offense, got an inside touch and scored, and then can get 5 people back behind the basketball at quarter court, so then the Lynx can't go at pace.
Offensive foul against Hillman. Amihia did really well, wore the contact and hit the deck. Of course, both of those teammates at the Atlanta Dream. Let's have a look at this here, just on the bottom of your screen. Did really well. I'm sure they'll chop up about that one later after the game. The teammates at the Atlanta Dream.
Absolutely, absolutely they will. I'm sure they've had many battles at practice against one another, know each other's game back to front.
So, at the top, working into this game really well. Lynx will spread the ball. Clinch Hoykart, Chia Batoni for 3. It was a real high arching one to hit the back iron. And a foul here.
So if you're Coach Christy Harrower, one of the things qualitatively that you want to get on top of here in the latter part of this game, just from your standards side of things, is the communication between your teammates. Anytime there's been an event where there's been a dribble penetration or on that last rebounding contest for Clinch Hoykart, 3 Flyers players went and got involved in the picture, and they don't need to do that. I think it creates opportunities behind that contest alone that the ball just needs to come out, and then you're going to be playing with a huge numbers advantage and a big spatial advantage. So to get clarity and communication back on the same page for the Flyers is important, and then they can start to build their defense from there.
The headaches continuing here for Christy Harrower as Koenig's on 3, Vaughan's on 4, and Hillman's on 4 after that offensive foul. Their big contingent is going to have to sit some minutes. As they go low, they find something down low to Burrows, who finished underneath the hoop with the reverse lane.
Yeah, and this is a really good roll of the dice to get Luffridge out there, get Taya Burrows out there, and see what type of energy they can bring.
Amihia with a snatch, went to the hoop. Ernst blocked it away. Amihia was asking for the contact. Let's have a look at this one again. Great attack to the basket. And all ball.
Yeah, she does a really good job, Carly Ernst, at being able to get a hand in there. I'm sure if you were Christy Harrower, you wouldn't want her to get beaten off that particular play, but to get her hand in the road, she times things particularly well with shot blocking.
Great drive. Rochi finishing for two.
Excellent straight line drive and didn't worry about the contact, just played through it and got herself the 2 points for her team.
Chibatoni from the elbow gets to work.
When we talk about Chibatoni, she's a very underrated piece of this Lynx lineup. She gives them point guard minutes where she can control the action. She does a strong job of protecting the basketball and getting them in and out of their stuff. And then often, she doesn't get rated as a high-level scorer because there's so many weapons on that team, but she always seems to make baskets, make threes, get on the rim, make contested finishes, go and get you an offensive rebound at really clutch and opportune times.
Mainly back in the game for Solo, who has 16 to her name as Cole drives to the hoop and has travelled. Great defense by Miha, forcing the contact, forcing the travel.
Yeah, she's going to be a defensive threat. If she can switch on to guards like Cole, she keeps her distance here so she doesn't let Cole get at her feet and body, and then she can use all of her length to be disruptive.
Chibatoni looking off that screen. Oh, great roll and a great finish. That's how you execute the pick and roll.
And case in point, right, she's such a smart head and makes good decisions off the pick and roll there. And when you've got Ami here, who's a really long athlete, you can throw the ball in the vicinity of wherever the basket is and she can go and get it. It's a pretty good combo.
Me here behind the back. Resets, Chibatoni directing traffic. Set and wait, great cut to the basket, good feed and a great and one. Clinch Hoycard worked hard for that one.
She really did, and I go back to that contested finishing from the Lynx. It's visibly gone up a level. I mean, 12 months ago, for all of the talents that Mackenzie Clinch Hoycard brings to this lineup and brings to our competition, contested finishes like that would not be a big part of what she does. So where she can be a threat and add that to her game, it just changes the way that defenses will have to play her and respect her as a global scoring threat, not just from the three-point line.
Well, biggest lead of the game now. Ernst dropping that one off. Foul on me here. Who was pleading her case with hands in the air.
We've got two possessions back-to-back where the Flyers have, you can feel the urgency that they have to try and get back into this contest and the fight that they all want to play with. It feels like they're starting to chase and force points or some of the action, and it's tripping them up and killing a bit of their flow.
Pass picked off. Chibatoni in transition, misses that one. Maley fighting hard in the rebound contest. Chibatoni's there, trying to snatch it away. Ernst wore an elbow. Be awarded a jump ball. Let's have a look at this on the action replay. Again, Maley involved, forcing the ledger. Oh, there was our stray elbow to Ernst.
We love the hardness that our athletes play with. You never want to see anybody get hurt, but certainly the urgency and the competitiveness and the relentlessness, it's what we're about as a league in the WNBL. It's why we produce so many great players and have so many fantastic games and final series year in and year out.
So 35 seconds left here in the quarter. Probably a little too late for that 2-for-1 situation. The Flyers need a basket though. Let's see if they can get this one moving. They go down low. Carly Ernst in the post, backing their opponent down. Tried to flick that one up, but it was unlucky. 14 on the clock here. And the Lynx manufacture. Maley tries from the outside, but it was just short. Rebound comes. Wilson has a go. Maley crashing the boards again. Another offensive glass. Now trying to beat the buzzer, but it'd be waved away if it was successful. And another great third turn by the Lynx.
Absolutely, huge scoring turn by them. They put themselves 29 points on the board, which is second only to their first quarter output of 31. They create such a high score line that makes it tough to chase down.
It's the Lynx 86, the Flyers 57. Make sure you join us for the last quarter.
Parents say you love me, you start dancing. What do we got going? Parents only dance. Oh, this is what we want. Down over here. Big jacket, club bay, huge, 90s. Oh, look at that. That's a really Parents only dance up around that side. What do we got? Oh. Over the back there. That's what we want. Keep it going. Just more parents. Just wave it. Over here. Not bad. Over the stick. Oh, yeah. Still got it. Using your child to win something. Sprinkle always works first. Give it up for the parents. Still got it. Great job.
With the Cygnett WNBL season launch kicking off last week and their reimagined store in Melbourne Central, celebrate the hoop season by grabbing your latest pair of kicks and apparel at your nearby Foot Locker, the official major partner of their WNBL. Make sure you head to Foot Locker, get all the latest gear. Mark Alabakov, this is going to be an interesting fourth term. It's going to be a tough task for the Flyers to come back, but we've got a whole season ahead of us. They need to finish strong here. They've got to show something, don't they?
Absolutely, and I like the idea from Coach Christy Harrower to roll out Dallas Luffridge and Taya Burrows late in that quarter, change the style a bit. You've got them here in a 2-3 zone. Manuela Poch making her debut as well, the sister of Nadia Poch.
Great work underneath. Morale scoring off the window.
But for them, it's standards, the quality of what they're trying to do. I think it gives you an opportunity where you put the results aside and you start coaching the action that you see, the habits that you want that are going to create more wins for you down the stretch.
Poch with a triple. That's her first points in the WNBL official season. Doing some great things at Dandenong. I'll move that one around. Maley. Gorman from really deep, in and out. Maley battling away. Ernst tried to keep that in, does in the end.
This is the first real change of defensive tact from the Flyers, and it's paid dividends in that particular possession because it changes the way that you try to initiate advantages if you're the Lynx.
Loop pass over the top. Didn't quite find the intended target, but there's a foul. And it'll be Southside ball. Let's have a look at this here on the replay. Tough to see where that contact was.
They get a chance now to try and execute a baseline out of bounds, see if they can snatch themselves some easy points.
Here's Cole.
Perth Lynx in a 2-3 zone of their own, looking to shrink space around the paint and challenge the Flyers to have to dribble in the gaps and try to score from the perimeter.
To beat the shot clock, it was down to 1. Luffridge wasn't successful. Here's Wilson. Now Gorman. Maley driving to the hoop. Had to get around Poch, who came across, committed the foul.
Might have been just outside of her defensive cylinder and caught the hip of Maley on the way through.
The way Maley drives to the hoop, so hard to defend. She forces those fouls.
She really does, and then the choice that you have to make, especially from a coaching level, is do you tell your players to get to that spot and build a wall and wear contact and play solidly where you can get back into a rebounding contest, or do you instruct them to go to ground with that contact and challenge the referee to make a charge call?
Great wraparound pass, but just wasn't there in time. Outside look, doesn't fall. Luffridge pushes the ledger. Carly Ernst will fire. Doesn't get the shooter's touch, unfortunately. So Gorman tried. Not successful. Foul against Luffridge.
The challenge of early shots within the shot clock. I mean, we've got two teams on different ends of the ledger here. For the Lynx, there's less penalty perhaps because you're obviously 28 points up, so you can have a crack if you've got time and space. For the Flyers, it can further break your rhythm, and it can either be really huge reward, like high risk and high reward. It can get you back into the contest with some three-point shots, or it can blow out this margin even further.
Great outside look there from Gorman, who increases her tally to 8 on the evening. Ernst down low, Koenig, now Rochi. One's off the iron. Koenig went to the hoop, but was fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Morale with that foul, her third personal for the game. Let's have a look at this on the replay. That was that miss by Rochi. And Koenig going up with it.
The three-point shot is created from all of those early first half possessions that the Flyers went inside to Koenig and she got them a bucket. Now she gets the catch, it draws the interest of multiple defenders from the Lynx, and then a great job by Koenig to pass in the direction of the help, find a three-point shooting, or attempting, Rochi in that instance.
Koenig has 15 for the game. It's been somewhat of a shining light for the Flyers, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and I like to see her come out and be her versatile self. She can score in multiple ways. We saw her back to the basket. We know from even her last stint in the WNBL that she's a tremendous three-point shooter when she's got time and space. She can be a real asset to this team when they add in the scoring of what you would consider a regular scoring output from Beck Cole. It's going to help the Flyers be able to put scorelines on the board in the 80s and 90s and above when they're up and rolling.
Giabatoni. Down low. Sowa was blocked by Ernst. Luffridge in transition. Stepped around one and a good finish.
Outstanding patience to be able to slow down and then sidestep, or Euro step rather, the defender in front of her. It's a ball deflected out of bounds in that particular instance. Flyers get to set up a sideline out of bounds play, try and steal themselves a basket.
Here's Rochi.
We see the debuting Kiara Waite for the Perth Lynx.
Ernst finds Poch. Good feed to Rochi. He went into the lane. Amihia went for the block, but didn't quite pay off. Now that's foul number 5. She'll be out the game.
So we spoke earlier about Amihia. I think the play was with Beck Cole. She kept her body and feet away and was able to use her length to her advantage. On the flip side of that, what you would teach the guard is to try to find the armpit of that longer defender, try and find her body so that you can scoop the ball up and get a shot attempt away with some airspace, but you draw some contact as well, which puts the referee in a position where there's a potential foul call, and Maddie Rochi did a tremendous job of that, gets herself 2 free throws out of it.
Rebound comes. Lynx will push down the floor. Sowa. No good. Ali Ernst at the top. Koenig, skip pass. Just a little too much mustard. For a quick and easy weekend dinner that the whole family will enjoy, pick up a family pack of Latina Fresh pasta and sauce. Ready in minutes and so delicious. There won't be any compliments at the dinner table. Find Latina Fresh in a chilled pasta aisle near you. Latina Fresh, supporting the WNBL. Well, as we head to the last couple of minutes of this game. We have a look at this replay here, Mark.
Yeah, we had Kiara Waite coming to set that screen, just was moving when the contact was initiated. It's one of the things that's important. When you're a guard coming off an on-ball screen, you've got to wait for that screener's feet to land. Helps them not be put in that position where they may be called for the offensive foul.
Rochi driving to the hoop, was successful on that one. The signature Rochi finish with the finger roll.
She's really quick in a straight line. If she can get the ball reversed to her and she can cut the angle straight to the hoop, she's as fast an athlete as there is going to her right-hand side as there is in the WNBL.
Soa's pass just didn't quite hit the mark. Koenig looks to press quickly. Potch just misses that one. Clinch Hoycart with the rebound. It's rebound number 10 for Clinch Hoycart with the 11 points. Double-double tonight.
Done a fantastic job. She's been a contributor in this lineup.
What a pass that was. The basket just doesn't fall.
It's the old commentator's curse.
Kick out, Luffridge for three. Doesn't miss. Potch does great with the offensive glass and finishes with two.
She's so strong, Potch, in those rebounding contests. She holds her position really well, and then she can play through any arms that get in the road of her going up to finish.
So for three, wasn't successful. Ernst. Great pass by Rochi to find Ernst.
Timeout called by Coach Ryan Petrick. So this starting to get, we won't say out of hand, but they've been able to, the Flyers have been able to get themselves back on track. They've got 12 points for the quarter. They're leading 12-5. Ryan Petrick will be talking about wanting to get this team back on the same page as this first three quarters.
It's been a game full of statistics, and make sure you're following along all the live stats of today's game in the free WNBL app. You can also check out game highlights, team and player info, and much, much more. Download it from your app store. It's the WNBL app. I know I can't wait to get on there and check out all the numbers and break it all down. But Mark, break this game down for me.
Well, look, we look at a 20-point margin. I think the runaway 91 points on the board is huge for the Lynx, and it's why it makes them difficult to play against, because you've got to have enough scoring power to score as much as them and try to, concurrently find ways to slow them down.
One of the things that has really cost the Southside Flyers tonight has been their shooting percentage from the outside. 23 from 45, only 39% from the field. That's been a real marker of, is it the Lynx defense, or have they had good looks, bad looks? What's your take on that, Mark?
Well, the short answer is it's kind of both, but I think the breakdowns that come on the back of the fatigue that you get dealt with when you play against Perth, I think that their three-point shots and a lot of their two-point shots have turned up in individual efforts where the ball stops and you're trying to create something for yourself, and in effect your shot percentage goes right down whenever you try to play that way. I think basketball is the purest team sport, and if you can keep the ball moving, you create big advantages where you can get clean open shots.
Here's Koenig. Ooh, jab step, then drive to the baseline. A big block by Chia Bertoni, but unfortunately it's a foul.
But continuing to be aggressive on the pick and roll. Now, in that instance, she turns it down, so she doesn't use the screen. It's one thing that the modern game has taught us, or even you mentioned the 3x3 Kangaroos, the 3-on-3 style teaches you to be a threat the moment that you catch the ball. So when an on-ball screen comes, if the defender doesn't stay in the road of you and the basket, and tries to precede the on-ball screen happening, it's a window for you to be able to dribble, penetrate to the basket and see if you can get yourself a quick two without using the action.
Chia Bertoni now on the outside. Maley. Rochi applying pressure. Chia Bertoni went to drive. That jumper just misses the target there from Waite. Rochi pulling up, no go. Following the shot there, offensive glass. Koenig on the outside, that one falls.
bang, and that looks better, right? So they go inside, they try to get themselves a clean bucket close to basket, draws the attention of the defense. We get a kick out, clean look at the three.
And that's Koenig's 20th point for the game. Been a real shining light for the Flyers. Wilson. We've got a foul.
I mean, not only has she been a shining light, but a real warrior. I think she's played the most minutes of anybody on the floor so far, 35 minutes, which, apart from her teammate Maddie Rocci at nearly 33, it's well above 5 to 7 minutes more than any other players on the court. Real Iron Woman stuff.
Yeah, it's a good description, Iron Woman stuff indeed. She's really had to put the team on her back. See this one here, this is Rocci collecting the contact, and we saw Rocci on her haunches there, but she's a very tough guard, is Maddie Rocci. She'll be embracing that contact.
The second moving screen on Kiara Waite. So great learning curve for her. I think, you know, anytime that you get your first foray into WNBL basketball, even if you're excelling in the NBL 1 competition or as a junior, everything goes up a level. The speed, the time and space that you thought you had, you don't at this level. You know, sometimes it can take a little bit of time for young athletes to acclimate.
And we get back-to-back travel calls here as Morale was caught lifting that pivot foot.
She's had a number of stellar seasons in the NBL 1 West, you know, being a back-to-basket scorer, you know, as a post target for teams that she's played with, but she stays in rebounding contests, is often a double-double threat most weeks in that competition.
Well, we're under the 2 minutes left in this one. The Flyers will be really looking to finish off this one so they can get into their next contest and start off well, but plenty of work to do during the week. There's that foul against Maley. Just a little too much contact there on the defense.
And it's often underrated for young athletes or bench players, you know, who are in the rotation for their team to come in and contribute in circumstances like this. And I think it's often a fallacy where, you know, players might think of it as, well, I'm only getting on the floor because we're down by 20, but the opportunity to play looks the same as any other time. I mean, you're still playing against WNBL talents at the highest level in the country as Chibatoni sticks another three. And it's what you do in those moments that you get that chance that can, you know, really build a coach's trust and your teammates' trust in you and earn you more opportunity as the season goes on. It's a credit to Dallas Luffridge, who's come in and competed here.
Chibatoni sneaking that one away. Here's Maley in transition, pulling up. Koenig with the rebound. And just having a look at this dominant win here by the Perth Lynx. Their next matchup is against the Townsville Fire, who was dominant against Geelong, and that's going to be on the Wednesday night. That deserves a primetime spot. That should be a good contest, Mark.
It will, and we're still feeling out who's who in the zoo as it pertains to this Cygnett WNBL season. You know, it's hard after one game to put any players in the Hall of Fame or say that they're not having a great year or talk about who's a contender or, you know, who might not be having the season that they've desired. I think we won't really find out where everything stands until we're a good month into this season, but you know, that Wednesday night matchup's going to be fun. It'll take us all on the next step of the journey.
And Koenig with an easy one. So it's been a series of miscues from the Flyers all game, basically. It's been mistake after mistake.
As we see Alira Fotu come into the game, but I mean, yeah, you're right. Look, and it's part of the first game of the season. It's your first game under a new head coach with new ideas, perhaps new rules and you know, ways of going about things. So, you know, it takes an acclimation period. I think anytime that you want to make a lasting change, I mean, realistically, it can take up to 8 to 10 weeks. But you know, in a competitive industry like professional sport, you don't have that time. You've got to try to find ways to fast track your team's development, get everybody on the same page with clarity. And it's, you know, as coaches, often we have these grand ideas of things that we want to do with our teams, and we've got to try to do less better for better clarity and simplification, so that our performance goes up, so we can hang into some of these contests and get wins on the board.
Well, that's all she wrote in this one. It's the Perth Lynx 94, the Southside Flyers 79. The Lynx get their redemption on their home floor. A great start to their season. They were tough all night. They attacked, and attacked a little bit more, Mark.
They did, and what made it a really difficult game for the Flyers to try to chase down is that 57 first half points. They shot 10 threes, and one of the things that's, we look at the injured Amy Atwell on the screen, they've still got her to come into the lineup. And that's going to be yet another addition of a three-point shooting threat and an incredible scorer. So for them to come out, get their revenge on their home floor, keep this Bendat Basketball Centre a fortress for teams to come and visit, it'll be a huge morale boost. It kickstarts their season. And when you've got 5 double-digit scorers, especially in Game 1, they'll go into that Wednesday night fixture against the Fire booming with confidence to come out and try and get themselves a second win and sit at the top of the Cygnett WNBL ladder at that point in time.
That three ball proved to be a real damaging one. They were 12 from 29 from the outside, shooting at 41%, 52% from the field on the inside, but those numbers started to dwindle late in the game. They were much higher earlier on. At one stage it was at 67%. We saw obviously Maley with 19, Wilson with 17, but Koenig was the star for the Flyers with 22. But let's have a look at that rebound count. Maley, of course, double-double, 12 rebounds with the 19 points. Clinch Hoykart chipping in with the 10 rebounds as well. A double-digit scoring too, another double-double. But Koenig was amazing tonight, 11 boards, 22 points.
Yeah, and we talked about her being an Iron Woman with the minutes that she logged, 38 for the entirety of the game, so she was a leader. But I liked the point that you made, Mackenzie Clinch Hoykart, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with it. But Annalie Maley tonight, the 19 points, she gets you 12 boards. Now that wasn't really that high. I think it was only at about 5 rebounds at half time. But I talked about her having these relentless bounds of energy that wear teams down, and she just keeps coming, to keep possessions alive for her team. And Koenig, you mentioned the shining light. She got herself 9 points in the second half, started really hot for her team. She's going to get better once they start to find their flow on the offensive end. They start to incorporate Beck Cole, and then she has some gravity around her. Koenig is going to find even more time and space to be able to hit her baskets, but then take some of that scoring pressure off her to have to try and put the ball in the hole as a sole lead scorer for the Flyers.
Well, make sure you're tuning in for this one on 9 Go, on your free-to-air station. Flames versus the Caps. You're on that call with Matt Hickey. That's set to be a great game.
Right, and we look at the games that have all preceded. You never know what to expect. There's so much for us to find out about this Cygnett WNBL season that makes it exciting. We see some familiar faces come and do some fantastic things that we've seen before. We see some shining lights, players who've developed their game. I mean, man, this first chapter is an exciting one, and we've got so much to go.
We certainly do. This season only gets better and better, but it was the Perth Lynx tonight. They were just fantastic. It was a great game, multiple double-digit scorers. They were just attacking throughout the whole game and managed to get the job done.